Hello everyone, welcome to part 24 of 40 Winks, and welcome to the races. Every single world we've been through has a race, and they all have to deal with certain enemies. The Nightmare plays deals with the Witch, which, we had a little mini-boss with back in, the hardest level in the game. I mean, the hardest level in this area. So what is the race like? Well, you're basically on a rocket? I don't even know what that is. And all you have to do is beat your opponent in 3 laps, all while collecting items such as life items, Z's, moons. Oh, and if you like accelerate once the one comes in, you pretty much boost instantly, and that helps. Your opponent has a rubber band effect though, sort of. When they're in front, they're gonna go as far in front as they want, but they'll be slower. However, when they're behind you, they go much faster than they were before, and they will be faster than you, and they will catch up to you no matter what. This is basically a rubber band effect, and what you have to do to defeat your opponent with this rubber band effect is, at about the last lap, when you get near the finish line, get in front of your opponent immediately, and you will always win. Your opponent is going to be slower than your boost, and there's pretty much almost always a boost near the end. So all you gotta do is defeat your opponent with the rubber band effect, and that's it. Like that. I have beaten the witch, and all the items are now mine, and that's my race time. Now, I've actually done this race once again. This is my second attempt, because I actually recorded this before, but the recording is now gone. So I had to redo it. But that was my record in that race. So, let's go to the underwater race now. With this flying shark. I don't remember when we saw a flying shark, like a shark with a jetpack. But hey, why not? So, let's defeat the shark. In this one, there are shortcuts, and all I have to do is go through the shortcuts and I'll win. Oh, and go through every boost if I can. The bosses aren't, the races are actually not that hard. They all deal with rubber band effects, so all you have to do is know how to use the rubber band effect to your advantage. And the only way to do that is to let them win for a little bit, and then once you're near the end, overtake them and you will win. Because they always take their time on speeding up once you're in front. So while they're taking their time speeding up, you'll be in front, you'll make it through the finish line, and you'll win. You'll have used the rubber band effect to your advantage, and you'd have won. However, if you mainly focus on being in front the entire time, the chances are the rubber band effect is going to fuck you. That your opponent will come out from fucking nowhere and defeat you. With no problems at all, with no trouble, and with no challenge. Because they just spring right in front of you due to the fact they were faster than you at that point. However, once they're in front, they become slower than you. So, right there, I rubber band affected and I won. I used rubber band to my advantage, and I kicked his ass, and the record. And that's the last little song we'll ever hear in this game. Not just kidding. But, hey, at least we're gonna get somewhere, right? Because we're getting items out of this. And now it's time for the space one, which is an alien on a UFO. Fuck off, clock, I'm trying to hit this alien. They all say they're the fastest racer. They all say the same shit, and the only way to race them is to hit them again. If they're high above you, it's going to be difficult to hit them, but when you do, the race begins. And they act like that you're going to lose and they're going to win. But as long as you know how to use the rubber band effect to your advantage, you will always win. If you do not and you continuously try to be in front the entire time, you are going to be fucked. I do need to stay in front of him at times so that I don't lose him, because once you lose him, it can be very hard to get back to gain him. Now this one's interesting because there's a lot of paths here. There's a lot of directions you can go. And this is pretty much my favorite layout of any race. There's a lot of shortcuts. There's a lot of decent design here. And really, it's fun here. I really like the design. With everything else, they have some good shit, but this has great design and I love it. Now you saw that, if that was the last lap, I would have lost because of the rubber band effect. And we all know how that effect works by now. They go faster when they're behind you, and they go slow when you're in front, when you're behind them. Use it to your advantage and you'll win. I pretty much did that. And there's my record. Yay. Play the music. Thank you. Alright, that's 3 races done. What's next? The prehistoric race. What is that going to be like? And who am I racing? Well, I'm racing this. A fucking wasp. And yes, he talks like a bee with disease. So, literally, this is always the same way it starts. This clock always says the same thing. Welcome to Wakey-Wakey Races. Which that is what I'm going to call it. That's what I'm going to call this part, Wakey-Wakey Races. And maybe a bonus. You might get a bonus. Actually, you will get a bonus. I'll be showing you the NTSC version of this game. Now, there only exists a PAL version of this game, really. But there is an NTSC version, which from the screenshots, looks a lot like a debug mode of the game. I'll be checking it out, because I'm going to download it after I'm done recording my voice for all these races. And I'll be recording it, because that'll be a pretty interesting thing to show you. And the last history lesson I'm going to show you, because remember, after this is the last boss, and that's it. That's the end of the game. Hopefully the ending will not be disappointing, and the boss will be difficult as fuck, because it is the last boss. The last boss must be difficult than every other boss, or else the boss sucks. And so does the game. Right, so I almost fucked this one up, because I don't really do the rubber band effect correctly. You need to do it correctly, or else you're fucked. I get lucky on this one too. I have to use shortcuts and shit. So, boom, I won. Just by a little. Just by a little. But I won anyway. So that's my time. You can easily beat this if you didn't fuck up as much as I did. Song. Thank you. Right, what's next? Next up is the knight races. The medieval race. Who are we racing? Come on, it's obvious, isn't it? It's a fucking dragon. It's those small dragons. Stomping on them does not do shit, by the way. You have to literally hit him with your candle. Or with Tumble, your bear. I don't know why she fights for fucking teddy bear. In fact, fighting Fredbear for teddy bear would be insulting. But you have to hit them normally, not stomp on their heads. Because that won't do shit. And if they say hit me again and you stomp on them, it doesn't do anything. I have tried this. Right, now it's time for this one. This is actually my... Actually, it's my third favorite of every race here. This one has some good design. But I think the UFO one is the best one. This one's about a third place. The second place one is the pirate one, which is actually the last one. There is no other race outside of all of these ones that you're seeing right now. And really, you don't have to do this. You don't have to do any of the races, actually. The races are pretty much an optional thing for you to grind items. That's it. You can't die in this. You don't lose anything if you fail this. You just get items. And you can do it over and over and over again, grinding more and more items. And you can get like 90 lives and shit out of this. And it won't even matter because all you've been doing is grinding lives. And really, this is easy, really. This would be useful. The race will be useful if you're doing the knight boss, because you saw how tough that motherfucker was, right? I mean, yeah, maybe I made it harder than it actually is, because I was being a fucking idiot, but still. Right. Song. A little late, but thank you. Now it's time for the final one, the pirate. It's the parrot. It is the fucking parrot. I don't care what you think, it's going to be the parrot. Oh, hey, look! It's the fucking parrot. No surprise there. So, let's get ready to race. He is going to be easy. Now, this one is actually tough in design, because I was actually inclined to say that this had the best design. To me, this is a second place, though. But they are pretty close. If you think this is the first place and the UFO is second place, that's fine too in my book. These are pretty close to battling each other. To which I could make both this and the space race both first place in best design when it comes to these races. But I can't do that because that would be cheap. So, yeah. Remember, rubber band effect fucks you over if you do not do it correctly. So, do not fuck yourself over. Make sure you get the rubber band effect correctly. And once you're all successful, you can beat every single race like I did. Go team. If your opponent makes it to the finish line before you, the race ends and you don't get any items. And that is literally all I gotta say about this. That's literally all I gotta say about the races. We are nearly done. There's nothing else we need to say about this. This is an optional thing you can do, and this is not required to beat the game 100%. If you want to beat the times, go ahead. I can put this in like a time trial thing or whatever, but we're done. We beat them, and now we are done with the races, and we can move on to the final bit of this video, of this part before we begin the final boss of the game. Song. The NTSC version of this. If I show the NTSC version, which I will, then get ready. That's gonna be some good shit. But if I decide not to show you, then thank you for watching, and I'll see you in part 25 with the bosses. So, jump cut to NTSC, or thanks for watching, goodbye. Chair.